Jaylon, growing up, he was a bubbly kid. He was clingy. He's a mama's boy, very athletic. Maybe he started walking about 9, 10 months. He immediately gravitated to a ball. Everything he did, it had something to do with sports. He was just this little boy that didn't talk much, because I really want to know how you have so many friends and you really don't say anything. But he led through his actions, and his actions said leadership.
I get up in the middle of the night, give me some water. I kept hearing a thump, like somebody was hitting the wall, like. So man, what is that? I go look in Jaylon's room. He laying on his back in the dark, throwing the football up, catching it. When he should be asleep, getting ready for school, but that's how he was. He like he had been here before, man. He knew what he wanted. He knew where he wanted to go. As parents, he challenged us because he knew he had to put the work in. He challenged us to find the work, and we used to find the work for him, and he didn't mind doing it. He said, drop me off. They playing 7-on-7. Like, Jaylon, man, they way older than you. He said, I know, but they want me on 18. It used to be funny, too, but come to find out they did. Little dude was good.
Here we go!
On the field, it was always a highlight reel. I could tell you 50 plays that I remember vividly that just blew me away. I can remember running down the sideline just enthusiastic. I don't think people really appreciated what a quiet confidence he had. He was not one of those kids that was spoiled because he was the star.
We were not a select team. Some kids, they need a little bit more work, and Jaylon knew how to get those guys some confidence also. You know, he wouldn't go see a kid and just run him over because he can run him over. You know, he ain't gonna go easy on him either. He's gonna give him a little pop, but talent-wise, he was better than a lot of kids that we played for us and against, but he was a very humble kid, and he wasn't better than the next kid standing next to him, you know.
We had been getting ready for this dinner dance for the upcoming weeks leading up to May the 4th.
So we up early, making sure he got what he needed. His brother, Brandon, had a track meeting. Normal stuff we do all the time.
Got dressed. We took him to his date's house, took him to the school.
It was crazy, too, because when he pulled up, it was like kids were sitting around waiting on him to come.
Jaylon's here, that's all you heard ringing in the air. Jaylon's here.
He used to always say, I told you, I'm famous. And he used to say it jokingly, but...
He called me about 8:45-ish, say I'm ready. Headed to the school, picked him up. He got in the car.
Mentioned about a party in Madison. You're not going, no. You ain't going to that. That wasn't part of the plan.
And my exact words was, it's dangerous out there, and that's not a place you want to be. He changed clothes. His date changed clothes. Her sister picked her up. He wanted to go hang out with a few of his football friends. One of his friends happened to be one of my oldest son's best friends. I had known the kid since 2nd grade, so I trusted him. Don't take my son to this party in Madison. As a matter of fact, don't you go. He walks away from the car. He comes back. He said, well, change your plans. We're going to go to O'Fallon. What time are you going to have my baby home? It's about 10 o'clock p.m. About 10:45, my oldest son called me and said my baby had been shot. I immediately screamed. I was delusional. I was scared. I was any emotion that you could typically have, I had them. I was lost. So I called Jaylon's phone, and his friend answered. He said, well, Jaylon's been shot, but he's okay. He's breathing. He's alert. I immediately ran out, got in my car. I didn't know where I was going because all I know was the party was in Madison. It actually wasn't in Madison. It was actually in Brooklyn. I called my husband. He was asleep. He didn't answer the phone. I called my neighbors. I said, get my husband on the phone.
Someone called me and said, hey man, Jaylon just got shot. Woke me up, actually. I said, man, stop playing. What is you talking about? Jaylon, where you at? Well, we at the party. I said, man, Jaylon ain't even at that party. He said, no, bro. Look, I'm looking at him right now. He on the ground. Jaylon got shot. And I ain't been the same since.
I'm praying. I'm like, Lord, please don't take my baby away from me. Please don't take my baby away from me. Please don't take my baby away from me. And once I got to the end of the road, I could see the lights. Got out the car and I'm walking. I got to a policeman. He's like, you can't go down here. And I'm like, well, my baby's down there.
Jaylon was at the party. Some kids got into it. Fights went on. Gunshots went on. And Jaylon ended up getting shot.
Unbeknownst to me, my baby had already been transported to the nearest hospital. Once I got to the hospital, I wasn't able to go back. They were working on him. And we just paced and we prayed, we sang. It was painful to just sit around and wait to know whether or not your child was gonna make it or not.
Then the doctor came out and said, we did all we can, but we couldn't save him.
It paralyzed me to the point to where it was hard to shower. It was hard to breathe. I physically could not work. I'm a teacher in Hazelwood School District. I cried every day. It may be one thing that one child does that remind me of my child and my day. I have another child, and even though he knew that I loved them both, I couldn't be a good mother to him because I was grieving the loss of another. Can't get out the bed daily, refuse to eat daily. So it impacted my marriage, it impacted my relationships with my other family because I was no longer the same person.
My healing process, I wish I knew. 5 years in, still missing a part of my heart. I'm still angry. I'm still mad. He not here, man. It'd be the second year in college right now.
You know, I tell a lot of people who are seeking therapy, that's like any other relationship. There's a lot of therapists, and the first one you encounter, if you're not feeling the right energy, if you don't feel safe, that doesn't have to be your person. Shop around like you would if you're looking for a significant other. Shop around like you do when you decide who your circle of friends are. And everybody with a license doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna have what you need, right? So finding the person that's a good fit for you can be really transformative. The other issue is access. Like, if I'm in crisis now, but I call to get an appointment and that appointment is 2 months from now, what do? I feel like the only way we can address problems is to be very raw and unapologetic about what the problems are and be able to have brave discussions about what's happening outside of our doors.
Gun violence is much deeper than criminal justice. It highlights issues of inequities in our communities. It highlights issues of substance use, mental health, and also the trauma that our communities continue to face. Yeah, so stigma is really, really huge. It's definitely a major barrier for individuals in the Black community to access healthcare. I think some things we're doing is our communication, our messaging, normalizing seeking mental health or seeking therapy resources, but also making sure we have access to Black mental health professionals. We need to look at gun violence as a chronic disease, actually, making sure we have ongoing follow-ups with families, with communities, create an everlasting healing space. And it may be helpful too if individuals will share their own experiences. I think a lot of times we don't talk about when we have, used a therapist, we try to keep it quiet, but the more people hear that it's normal to see a therapist, it's getting the education out, getting the awareness out, and getting the conversation going.
There was a time where I thought weak-minded people did that kind of stuff. And I couldn't tell you how far from wrong I was. I'm a way better person from the counseling sessions, from opening up to my friends to crying. Like, we cry together. He impacted their life. So
the only thing that I believe has helped is time. There's no such thing as justice. Justice is my baby sitting right here next to me, us getting ready to pack up his clothes and his trunks to go and start his sophomore year in college. I share my story with my kindergartners. They know who Jaylon is. They know my purpose. They know my why. I believe it has changed a few kids' behaviors. I still believe that parents should be involved in their children's life. I still believe that if there's a change, that parents should notice that change. And with the young men that took my child's life, something went wrong there. There was a breakdown somewhere in those families. I did everything that I could to ensure that my baby had a good life. And I try not to blame myself for his passing. So I want him to be remembered as not just as this athlete, this great athlete that everybody knew. He was an even better person. My baby was a great person before anything, and it started at home.